Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about this welding table that I bought about a year and a half ago. It's a Siegmund welding table. Uh, Basically, been welding over 30 years, been thinking about a welding table for over 30 years, and finally pulled the trigger a year and a half ago. It was a huge investment, never thought I'd have a table like this, but I want to make a video about this because I couldn't really find any information on these. I mean, you can find some cursory stuff, and as of recent, you can see some fabrication shows on TV, hot rod shows, where you see these tables on occasion, and nobody really talks about them, or if they do, they just kind of fluff over them. So I want to let you know, hopefully to help you out in your decision, whatever table you decide to buy. I just wanted to give you the attributes of this particular type of table. So these tables are made in Germany. They are, bar none, the finest tables I've ever seen in my life. The quality of this table is that of a machinist precision. I mean, literally, it could be used as a surface plate for a machinist. It's just absolutely incredible. This table here is 1,000 millimeters across by 1,500. That's how it's written up in their catalog. In our American world, that's roughly a little over 3 feet by just a hair under 5 feet. This table weighs about 900 pounds. It is absolutely beefy. Siegmund has 3 lines of tables, okay? So they've got what's called a 28 series, a 22 series, and a 16 series. This is the 22 series. Those numbers signify the size in millimeter of this hole. In fact, any hole on this table. The 28 is what I would call the industry standard. It's a massive, massive construction, heavy-duty table. This table is the middle of the road. It is still by far probably beefier than any table you're ever going to find or be able to buy on the market. It's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's virtually 6 inches in height. It's got ribbing going across in 2 planes in the, say, y-axis, and along the x-axis, along the center, it's got ribbing there. So imagine it's almost like a 6-inch thick box, and it'll hold thousands of pounds with zero deflection. This table, what makes it really different than any other welding table, even tables that have the grid system like this, which, by the way, any table with this grid system is fantastic. But where these tables shine above and beyond, and what's, made me so excited about this table is the actual precision of the table. This table is dead flat. It's not just a flat piece of steel, but it's machined all the way across on all sides. Everything is perpendicular to one another. It's truly, here's a Starrett square. You can run this square along any point of this table and you are not going to see any lines. Take a look at this. I mean, it's dead nuts. Okay, so going beyond the fact that it's perfectly square and perfectly machined, what are some other attributes? Well, the beauty of this is that, I'm sure you can see, there's these lines that are cut into the table going across. So essentially you've got this grid. It's a grid network that's 100 millimeters across and 100 millimeters up. So you've got this 100 millimeter grid system within the table. Within those grid points, you've got, in the center, you have an additional hole for clamping. You've got clamp holes in every point, every 100 millimeters, split 50. Okay? Along the edge of the table, every one of these points is marked out. It's essentially cut into the table 0 to 100. 0 to 100. So 100 millimeter, 100 millimeter, 100 millimeter, same thing all the way across this table. So what that helps you out with, of course, you can tell, is whenever you're fixturing on this table, whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting on here, you can, if you're doing repetitive setups, you can basically use this as a coordinate system and label them alphabetically or numerically, like, you could call this A, and then going across would be 1, 2, 3. So you could have like A6, E10, and these could be points for whatever you're fixturing. You can mark it down. You can always reference that, and it really simplifies your job. Okay, so besides the fact that it's super strong, super square, it's also got plasma nitration. If you're doing any kind of MIG work or arc work, this table does not let the BB stick. It's pretty amazing. As my own precaution, this is my own table. I coat it with WD-40 anytime I'm doing any heavy arc on this table, and it's dead flat. In a year and a half, nothing's happened to it. It's pretty incredible, and I'm loving it. I gotta tell you, the strength of the table is a virtue. The weight of it is a virtue. It has zero deflection. The legs on it, when you buy this table, it comes with a standard set of legs. They're fully adjustable. The bolt in the leg, the adjustment bolt, is ultra fine, almost 1.5 inches in diameter. I mean, just massive, absolutely massive. It's German precision. That's bottom line. That's what it is. And within the Siegmund line, like I was saying, you've got the 28 series, the 22 series, and the 16 series. The 22 is what I believe the newest series within that line. It kind of represents a compromise between their super heavy duty and their, you might want to call it light duty, but compared to just about any other welding table, it would be super heavy duty. So you've got this gargantuan table, and then you've got this heavy duty table, and then you've got something in between, which is this table. The 28 series, I think, is the bread and butter. It's what you're going to find in every huge factory that's making giant vessels. The tables can be set up. They literally have systems that can be the entire ground floor of a factory. It's pretty crazy and impressive. But for me, the 22 series was a good compromise. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, like I said, and it's just massively strong. And it gives you the ability to do things that you can't do on a regular welding table. So the regular welding table is a great tool. However, this tool gives you the ability to expand into the future. So, for example, I bought this table, right, 3x5. Say I go into a bigger place at some point, I want to get another table, maybe another one like this, maybe something similar. The beauty of this system is because you've got those sides that are perfectly true and perfectly parallel, you can roll up another table. It locks in with a couple of locking bolts, like in seconds. You level everything out, and now you've got a table twice as wide. They also make like literally tower pieces that you can stick in where you could have a table, an open area with like tabletop on the side, and a third table. You could have basically an array of tables all put together and all flat, and you can change them around. This is something that you cannot do with any other welding system. It's just not going to happen. So yes, they do cost more, but in the end, what you can do with these tables is incredible. So right off the bat, right, most tables, you've got this x-axis and you've got the y-axis. So if you're going to lay down, let's say, for example, well, this is a quick release, by the way. Say this was a piece of steel and you had another piece of steel running off and you wanted to come up here, right? You're going to have to buy additional clamping members to put this all together. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's an additional cost. It doesn't matter what kind of table you do, you're going to have that kind of fixturing. Where a table like this, in my opinion, is super handy, and where you're actually saving money on the backside is with 4 clamps like this, right? Just these 4 simple clamps that you can lock in instantly. You can take these 4 clamps and you could do a job like that by utilizing the fact that you've got these machined surfaces here. And I'll give you an example of that. This is really a simple example, but it gives you the idea of what you can do with this style table versus a flat table. So as you can see, you've got your x-axis, you've got your y-axis here, and now you've got a z-axis that's coming down, okay? And then off of that, you're able to go in this plane or any other plane. So if you had just a flat table, imagine trying to do this quickly and efficiently on a flat table. It's not going to happen. You're going to have this side's going to be on the bottom of your plate. You're going to have to wedge this up. You're going to use similar clamps to put this down. Now you're going to need accessories to do these vertical clamping positions and to get them all square and straight. Here's the caster assembly. You've got an ultra fine thread, almost 1.5 inch diameter bolt. And then you come up, you've got the adjustable leg with dual pins. And there's the 750, which represents the hardness of the table, 750 Vickers. Okay guys, that's about it. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight on some of the additional things you may or may not have known that this style table could do. Hope it helps you out in your decision in whatever you do and whatever table you decide to buy. Have a good one.